There's a lot of dead people. A lot of them. Some of my fears are unfounded. Most of them are not. Most of my fears of what would happen through all of this were not unfounded, and I knew it. I knew they were not unfounded because of my experiences throughout my life. Well, you guys want to pretend that autistic people are too dumb to know what's going on around them. If we can tell that a box of macaroni and cheese is a box of macaroni and cheese, we can tell a crack rock is a crack rock if we grew up in a fucking crack house. Okay, this is not rocket science. This is not difficult for an infant to understand. If you raise your kids around drugs, they're going to know what drugs are. If you do the drugs, they know how to do drugs. If you talk about what you're doing or you're teaching other people how to do it, your kids are learning that too. So here's the thing, you get someone like me who was raised by druggy parents, sort of, and also to work with when I turned 18. Now, all this stuff since Natalie died, a lot of predators are still out there. A lot of people who I otherwise would have helped to get into a safe environment, I haven't been able to, and several of them are dead. Anahunka is one of them. And helped Anna in person how she needed because of all of my court stuff and all of my money being eaten up. The best that I could do was try to work together with others to get her a bus ticket. She never made it to the bus. See, that's what people don't want to understand is that the kind of stuff that happened to me, it doesn't just affect me, it affects everyone. Well, these horrible people in these so called Natalie Bollinger groups were doing all of these horrible things to anyone who even spoke up for me, went out of their way to try to make sure that or tried to defend me was banned from their group. They harassed those people's profiles on to have their Facebook profiles destroyed. Rooting through and digging through every single post to try to find one that's juicy enough they can pretend that it's against Facebook rules. Or ganging up 10 on 1, calling something spam. Now that tactic does not work anymore. It used to, but fucking evidence doing that. And since they changed the algorithms, that hasn't happened. Well, it hasn't happened as often, and it for surely hasn't happened with the spam thing, where they try to pretend that it's spam, and then magically it goes away and you're on a 30-day ban for spamming. Meanwhile, you didn't spam. And Facebook gave me a few reminders of a situation that happened, well, right after Natalie was killed. Like I said, hackers were fucking around with my shit, and they let me know that hackers were hacking into my shit. And that was another ban that I had gotten. I got a Facebook ban because my Facebook got hacked into. And then there's a lot of people that I'm like, hey, can I show you this evidence? And they're like, oh no, dude, are you sure? Are you sure that it's not gonna, take me to some link that's gonna ask for my Facebook information? Like, holy shit. Stuff like that totally screws with all of us. It destroys our ability to communicate effectively, or at all, in some cases, with a lot of the people that I needed to get a hold of. The only way that I had to get a hold of them was through Facebook. I didn't have their phone number. I didn't have any of our mutual friends' phone number. All I had was their Facebook. And a lot of these cases, it's because when you're homeless and you go to jail, you usually have a pay by month phone. When you get out, your number has already been reassigned to somebody else. You didn't pay your bill, they canceled your number, and they gave it to someone else. The reason that they're full of evidence, but I don't have that number anymore, is because of incarceration or because of just straight up being too broke. When all your money is being spent going to court date after court date for an issue at Clearview and an issue with Wayland Lolatai, two places that Tony Kovaleski did a special on. They were such fucked up places and such fucked up people that Tony Kovaleski did a special investigative report on both of those places. I can even show you some of my predators in there. Matter of fact, I think I'm going to do that right now. Right now is the optimum time to do it. I mean, I've still got internet access. Starbucks just closed. Their doors are locked, so I'm the only one using the internet. I'm less likely to get disconnected. It's not too hot. I'm not sweating like a pig. I'm also not freezing. I'm low on gas. It's the 24th. I only got to make it to the 1st. I should get paid on the 1st. And most of my money will be going to auto insurance. I should have about 250, maybe 350 left to live on. Probably about 250. I think it's, well, when you pay 6 months at a time, it saves you money. The other thing is because of previous vehicles that I've had, that the vehicle broke down or something of that nature happened or it got towed or whatever the case may be.